Good morning or afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome the 12-minute special presented to you by Group 3 of 9A. This video will include discussions on Greek geography and culture, the city-states of Athens and Sparta, the Mycenaean and Minoan civilizations, and the Hellenistic and Macedonian empires, and also Alexander the Great. So let's start. Good morning, my name is Juan Heredia, and today I'm here to talk about the culture of Greece. Polytheists, meaning they believed in many gods. They believed that the gods and goddesses all met in a council on Mount Olympus. Some of these gods are Zeus and Hermes. They would make many sculptures of their gods, such as the statue of Zeus in Olympus. They would also make vases called amphoras, which were used to transport water and other supplies. Next, the Olympics. The Olympics is a religious festival which had only men, wherein they would compete in sports such as boxing and wrestling and gymnastics. The winner would get a crown of leaves and exemption from taxes. It itself would be carved from the hillside. Early Greek plays would be tragedies, but later on, the plays would be about comedies and satires, which means that they would poke fun into subjects. We also have a good basis of mathematics and science because of the three famous mathematicians and scientists, namely Thales, Hippocrates, and Pythagoras. Thales was famous for being a good astronomer and a mathematician. Hippocrates is known as the father of medicine because he believed that the body can heal itself, and many other theories. Pythagoras is a famous mathematician for his Pythagorean theorem about the right triangles and the relation between each side. Lastly, they are famous for their philosophy. They had three famous philosophers, namely Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. Socrates would appear ignorant to the people to help them solve their own answers. Plato is famous for his belief that everything existed for a reason. Aristotle was famous for his empirical approach towards nature. Listening, and here is Evan Chung to present on the geography of Greece.
Hi, I'm Kevin Chong. I'm here to present about the geography of Greece. So I'm going to present about the geography of Greece. So this is the map of Greece, and mainly this peninsula, which is archipelago, which means it has a lot of islands, and this is the island Crete. And since they have a lot of mountains, like 70 and 80% are mountain, they cannot farm easily. So they usually trade with another civilization. They use sea to trade and have a cultural exchange.
Thank you for listening to us. And here is Sparta and Athens, Minoans and Mycenaeans, and Hellenistic and Macedonians by Basti Garbanzos, Gerard Mijares, and Cal Martinez.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Gerard Mijares, and I'm going to talk about the Minoan and Mycenaean civilization. The Minoans, they came first to the island of Crete, which was an island located southeastern of the Greek mainland. They're not originally Greek, but they are the first civilization to arise, creating the Greek mainland. They were excellent navigators and farmers, and excellent traders as they made their ships from oak and traveled as far as Egypt and Syria to trade for items like gold. Though they flourished, they weren't very good on war. There were two theories that proved the decline of the Minoan civilization. It's either an earthquake or a volcanic eruption destroyed all the Minoans, or the Mycenaeans, which we're going to talk about afterwards, invaded them, eventually ending the Minoan civilization and starting the Mycenaean civilization. The Mycenaeans came after the Minoan civilization. They existed in the same period as the Minoans, but they learned everything from the Minoans, such as writing. And just like the Minoans, they were excellent traders. They sailed as far as Egypt and southern Italy to trade. The trade made them grow rich and powerful, and eventually they overtook the Minoans, creating a new civilization of the Mycenaeans. But the Mycenaeans were not just famous for their trade. They were famous for winning what's known as the Trojan War. Though the Mycenaeans were good, there were two theories that made them decline. It was either a drought forcing them to move to another area, or they were beaten by another group known as the Dorians.
Hi, my name is Vaskir Bansas, and today I'm going to talk about the two famous Greek city-states, Athens and Sparta. So today we're going to talk about the daily life, social status of women, economy, education, and the government of Athens and Sparta. So today we're going to talk about Athens, and Athens is located in Attica. Now, Attica's geography, they have many infertile lands and are mostly rocky terrain, so they rely on trading to do their business. Now, when a baby is born in Athens, they celebrate it. And if that baby is a boy, when he's 7 years old, he'll go to school and be educated. If it's a girl, however, she won't be educated in school, but she will still be educated by her mothers. The government in Athens is a democracy, and they have a council of 500. Now, the social status of women in Athens is very high, but they are not considered citizens because only free men are considered citizens. So women and slaves are not considered citizens. And then women, they tend to the household things or they trade. Sparta, unlike Athens, rely on stealing and invasions for the growth of their economy. The government of Sparta is an oligarchy where 2 kings rule and is helped by a council of 28 elders who advise the king. When a baby is born in Sparta and it's male, if it's healthy, he will be brought to the military at the age of 7 to join the ranks. But if that baby is sick, he will die on a hilltop. If it's a girl, she will just stay at home. Women in Sparta, they were well respected. They were respected for their fertility and freedom, and they practiced constant gymnastics and wrestling, which made them strong mothers.
Hello, my name is Kyle Martinez, and I'm going to talk about the Macedonian Empire, Alexander the Great, and the Hellenistic civilization. So let's rock and roll. So let's talk about the Macedonian Empire. This empire was headed by Philip II, and this empire also focused on its army. Philip II, first of all, was held a hostage in Thebes, a city in Greece, as a kid. As he was held hostage there, he learned a lot about Greek culture, especially, most importantly, how to build an army. So he rose to power, and in 359 BC, he became the king of Macedonia. And this empire was very powerful. It had a good army, it had good cavalry, and they slowly conquered the Greek cities in the north, one by one. This empire, however, lasted very shortly, as when Philip was assassinated in 336 BC, the empire slowly crumbled until it finally fell. So now, let's talk about Philip II's son, Alexander the Great. He was a 21-year-old son of Philip, and he was the person who realized his father's dreams. In 334 BC, he built a huge army that crossed into Asia Minor. He then conquered many nations, like Persia and Egypt. He heard of this rumor called the Gordian Knot, where they say that this knot could never be untied. So instead of trying, he simply cut it off. After that, he set up his capital in Babylon. And soon after, as he was marching to India, his forces mutinied against him. They traveled so far from Macedonia that they refused to follow him anymore, since they probably lacked supplies. So as this happened, Alexander the Great returned back to Babylon. But over there, he got sick, and eventually, 1 year later, he died. The Hellenistic Empire rose into power 300 years after Alexander the Great's death. But however, this empire was split into smaller city-states, kind of like Athens in Greece and Sparta in Greece. These city-states adopted Greek culture, and as Greece fell, the Greek capitals in the east slowly rose to power. There were many scientific advances in this period. Some of them include the discovery of the nervous and circulatory systems. And the center of these scientific developments are in Alexandria. There were also many new philosophies like philosophers like Archimedes. Also, there's this philosophy called the Stoic philosophy. This is where many Roman and Christian beliefs are based on, as it talks about that all humans are alike due to the ability for them to reason out. Also, fun fact. You remember the word stoic, right? This refers to a person not upset by bad events. In other words, he can remain calm in spite of these troubles. Thank you. This has been Kyle Martinez reporting. Thank you very much.